Right, it is Championship week on the channel. We are coming up with 3 tactical recreations. We're starting the week with Kieran McKenna's Ipswich Town. So day 1 of Tactics Week, and we're looking at Kieran McKenna's Ipswich Town. We're also going to be covering Leicester City, Leeds United. Now, if you want a Southampton one, I did do a Russell Martin tactic a few months ago, and I will leave a link down in the description to that video. So, very different to a Russell Martin in terms of possession and dominating the ball. Ipswich Town's possession numbers are relatively average, or just over, I think, 50%, in and around sort of like the top 7, top 10 at the moment. Nothing too spectacular. However, they've scored the most goals in the division, which gives us a nice little exciting way of putting this tactic into the match engine. Now, this tactic is available for all the Patreons. Check out the link down in the description. Thank you to everyone who's on screen right now. You get the tactical download. Head over to Patreon, download the app, and also you have the access to all the other FM24 files. Okay, so it is a 4-2-3-1. What Ipswich Town are wanting to do is to build up with a back 3. So they build and they play with like a 3-2-5. So we're going to go through the team. I'll explain why certain players are in certain roles. We'll go through all the player roles, player instructions, team instructions, and we're also going to play a game as well at the end. We've got a game today against Preston North End. We are currently 2nd in the Championship. We have made a tremendous start. 25 points from a possible 30. We have honestly just started to cook. We lost the opening game of the season against Sunderland, a 2-1 defeat. Little bit unlucky, considering we just kind of edged it in terms of shots and XG, possession. It was a little bit of an unfair result. Well, I suppose one of those games that could go 50-50. Disappointing draw against Sheffield Wednesday, but once again, not in control of the game. 1.99 XG compared to their 1.13. 5 more on shots, more on targets. So yeah, and maybe another game that we might have been able to come away with more than just a point. Apart from that, we've been absolutely brilliant. We've beaten Stoke, QPR, Leeds, Cardiff, Southampton, massive win away from home, Blackburn, Huddersfield. We've just smashed Hull. We are in great form, and it's just one of those tactics that you just think is going to absolutely fly in FM24. So how have I put it together? Let's have a look. So 4-2-3-1. So starting with a goalkeeper, sweeper keeper on attack. We're going to go Hladky. Is that right? God knows. Anyway, he's got a variation. They've actually got shortest in terms of goalkeeper pass distance, but they've also launched the 2nd highest long passes in the division. So he's either playing really short, playing out from the back, or I think they're going long. Sometimes looking for Kiefer Moore. He's been playing there recently due to the injury to Hurst, the other striker. And then also looking at playing out wide to the wingers, to Davis, who often gets a little bit further. So we're going to build from this 3-5-2 of how we're looking to build with this 3-5-2. So it's quite simple, really, to get it going in FM. We're going to play with the right back. It's often been Clark. Twanzebe's played there. As you could see from Clark as well, very comfortable at playing at centre half, so it gives the team a nice balance, a nice natural balance. It's always generally Leif Davis who gets a lot higher, and then the right hand side in Twanzebe, who also is more of the ex-Manchester United player, also sort of like a right back / centre half, often helping out in build up. So to create that, I've gone with an inverted fullback. We've got the winger in front of him, so we don't then tend to need to get around. In build-up, he often gets into these little areas here just for looking for cutbacks, as if he's always staying on the halfway line. If the ball's on his side of the pitch, he will come and get involved a little bit. So, inverted fullback on defend. The 2 centre-halves, we've gone with Wolfenden, right centre-back, ball-playing defender on defend, with his partner Cameron Burgess, left centre-half. He's left-footed, he's right-footed, so that gives him a nice little balance, but I've just gone central defender on defend for him. Now, Leif Davis, what a season. By the way, he's had a good start for me. 4 assists and 2 goals in the first 11 games. As you can see, he's had a tremendous season. Look how high and wide he stays. Matches 40, started all 40 of them. Team of the week 5 times, 2 goals, which, you don't expect generally from sort of like a left fullback. However, if we go down here, 17 assists, 19 goal contributions from Leif Davis. Is him pushing right on, and obviously with the inverted winger inside in Broadhead, naturally comes in there. We get that nice 3-2-5 in build-up. Now, I've gone wing-back on attack instead of complete wing-back, just because the complete wing-back can sometimes roam a little bit. If you just look at the instructions, complete wing-back, like, he could do it both. You could put him, by all means, put him on. You might see him more adventurous in that left-hand side. But I'm quite happy just for him to be a wing-back attack. Cross from the byline, get really far forward, absolutely flying in real life and in the save so far for us. Okay, the double pivot. Interesting one. I'm going to put a couple of little things up now on the screen for you to see, and in particular the difference between the two. But as you can see, if we look at it, progressive passes, so Sam Morsey looks like he's a bit more of a builder, whereas progressive carries, 50% percentile for Morsey, 78% for Luongo. So for me, I think depending on what you play, now I have put Morsey as an anchor because I want him to be really assured in possession. I also didn't want him wandering and stuff. You could probably put that as a defensive midfielder as well, take more risks. Defensive midfielder on defend, take more risks because you want those passes and also those progressive passes. So maybe take more risks, you'll probably get those progressive numbers a little bit better. On the other side, Luongo, and I've got take more risks for him as well. Because of his carries as well, you could probably do dribble more. So those two, I think you could change a lot. Not so much in terms of the roles. Yes, maybe the anchor, as I said, that from an anchor to a DM on defend. Maybe for Luongo, not a box-to-box midfielder, sorry, a Segundo Volante potentially would work. If we look at Luongo's heat map for the season, as you can see, he just gets in and around that middle third of the pitch, doesn't often get into the penalty area. So maybe a defensive midfielder on support, dribble more instruction would probably work best. So there you go. What I'll do is I'll make sure the dribble more instructions are on for Luongo, and I'll leave it as an anchor. And I said, if you want to tweak that, change that, you can do, no problem. As I said that though, make sure it's more of a sitter rather than a real sort of like a roaming playmaker, a Segundo Volante. You don't really want that, I would say, for those two roles. They're very much there to protect, in particular because of how Leif Davis gets forward. They want to get that 3-2 build-up, help as much as they can. They have conceded a lot of goals, not so much over the last few months. Defensive, they've got so much better. It's come at a little bit of a sacrifice. I don't know if losing Hurst over the Christmas period has made a real big impact in how many goals they've been scoring. Ipswich Town fans, let me know down in the comments. But we need to make sure we keep that double pivot in as much as we can. It's all about the front four. All right. Right-hand side, it's been Burns, it's been Hutchinson. I've got that wing on attack. Because we've got Clark in behind, we need to make sure that's, attacking. We want it to be a winger, generally a right footer on that right-hand side. So we've got winger on attack. Going to get to that byline, cut balls back, and also get into the penalty area whenever we can. Connor Chaplin has had another fantastic season, an absolutely incredible signing. He actually looks really good in terms of his technicals in the game as well. Now, I've put him down as a shadow striker just so he can get in the box. His goal return is tremendous. He's often in here waiting for balls. I think the thing is with Connor Chaplin, he's a bit of a creator as well. He's not just a second striker, but to get the amount of goal contributions that we want from him, he needs to bust a gut and get into the box. In particular, losing someone like Hurst, they've kind of replaced him with a different profile in Kiefer Moore. Very much a target man. They are looking for someone to get him beyond a little bit and acting as that, balls bouncing in the penalty area, maybe knock down some Kiefer Moore. Chaplin has been absolutely tremendous, often getting like little cutbacks and then strikes on goal from in around sort of like the penalty spot. Loads of goals over the past 2 seasons in and around the penalty spot, cutbacks, low crosses into the area. Left-hand side, Broadhead's had a really good season, good goal contribution, and because of the role of Leif Davis, the wing back on attack, like getting so aggressive down that left-hand side, Broadhead often comes in and plays in the little half spaces in between, so we're going with inverted winger on support for him. Central striker, they've got a couple of options, obviously. Hurst, I've been using Hurst. He has been injured, I think, since Boxing Day, or was it New Year's Day? One of the 2 days. Kiefer Moore's come in. For me, advanced forward works brilliant for Hurst. Kiefer Moore would obviously be a target man forward. I think this dude has played a little bit. I'm not familiar with him and the role that he's been doing, but he is a little bit on the young side. So I would say, depending on what team you are, just go with your striker. If it's an advanced forward, just put an advanced forward in. Hurst's been brilliant. He has got a good profile, good pace. He's ideal for a lower league, sort of like championship striker in terms of his height and his pace. Gets in behind, loads of crosses into the box, and he scored a fair few goals. And he scored 2 hat-tricks. Yeah, he scored 2 hat-tricks in a row for us. So that is the player roles. Into the team instructions, we've got an attacking mentality. Now, I've done that because of sheer amount for the goals and the goals conceded, and the possession numbers are not that great. He's not looking to dominate and completely control games like a Russell Martin would do in terms of keeping the ball and ball retention. So there's that little bit of element of risk. With that, we've got pass into space, looking to get the ball forward quickly through the thirds. You could do that better when you've got pass into space on. Fairly wide attacking width. I will change that depending on teams that we're playing, but generally so far I've completely left it as it is, fairly wide. Overlap left, we want to try and get that Leif Davis round. Like, as I said, his crossing in the game is absolutely tremendous. He's got 16 for crossing, so we want him getting forward as much as possible. So very important that we have, I think, overlap left on. Standard passing directness, and obviously the lower you put it down will definitely help your possession numbers. I'm not bothered about possession numbers at all. And then we have gone higher tempo just to try and progress that ball through the thirds. All that I've left blank. You could do low crosses, I suppose, especially if you wanted to like exploit Connor Chaplin a little bit, but I've left it mixed so you get that nice little mixture. Obviously, George Hurst is good in the air, 6'3". We know what Kiefer Moore's about, so we don't want to do low crosses all the time. So mixed, we get that nice little balance. In transition, counter press, they've got decent PPDA numbers, currently ranked 4th in the league behind Southampton, Stoke and Leeds United. They're also ranked 8th in division for counter pressing regain, so we've put that on. Their regain average number is 31.42. Bristol City is the most on 36.42, with Middlesbrough in second on 33.56. So quite close together. So we've got that on. And we've also got counter-attacking on. It makes sense with the players we've got in forward areas. Winger on attack, Broadhead, Chaplin, Hurst. Like to get the ball forward. It means that, yes, we'll probably be lost in possession, that element of risk, but that is definitely a Kieran McKenna side. In distribution, we've gone distribute to centre-backs, but because I've got sweeper keeper on attack, he'll also go long at certain times. Out of possession, we've got much higher line and high press. Ipswich currently ranks 2nd in the division, just behind Southampton in terms of defensive distance, the amount of metres they are away from their own goal. They're ranked up 2nd with 47. I think Southampton are on 49, with Middlesbrough and Leeds on 45. I think 45, 46. So quite close, but it does show that obviously they're looking to get higher up the pitch as much as possible. So we've got that on. So with that, with that PPDA numbers and the defensive line, we're going to give high line, much higher press, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, really force them to press and work hard with that not much more trigger press, but more often that we should really get some really decent PPDA numbers. All right, let's go and play the game against Preston and we'll see how it all looks in FM. Right, so we've just regained the possession of the ball, and as you could see, if I just, let's highlight them all just so you could see. You do that, by the way, by keeping your finger down on the control button on your keyboard, and then just click them as you go through. So there's our back three. It'd be interesting to see the movement of Leif Davis as we progress, and as you can see, he's on his bike now. And now we're pretty much, there is our 3-2. Chaplin will rotate round and move. He'll often come in short, even though he's a shadow striker. He's going to come in, obviously, Hurst as the advanced forward, staying really high on that attacking line. Looks like potentially Preston are sitting in quite a low block, so it'll be interesting to see how we do against these. Obviously, we're going to hopefully get a little bit of room relief on down that left side. Good effort. Obviously, the inverted winger coming inside and getting in those little half spaces. I think Ipswich as well. I haven't put play for set pieces on, by the way, but Ipswich are really high in terms of set piece goals. I think they're around 2nd or 3rd in the division. Could even be 2nd for the season. I think 15 set piece goals. I haven't watched all the goals. I've been kind of really focused on the goals of Connor Chapman and Leif Davis's assists and stuff. So interested to know any Ipswich Town fans how they've been scoring their goals. I did see a couple of League One goals from last year. A couple of nice corner routines with Connor Chaplin scoring. Right, Leif Davis. Down the left-hand side. Cross, goal. There we go. Leif Davis with the assist. 19 minutes gone. Let's see the build-up. So, look, nice high position from Leif Davis. Considering the ball's coming from the left-hand side, and then he just carries. Dinks in a lovely cross. Said Hurst is 6 foot. Oh, it was Burns, sorry. It was Burns with the head. I thought it was Hurst. Burns at the back stick. Winger on attack. I think that does sometimes help them get into the penalty area. Right at the back stick. 6 attempts on goal. They've not even had a shot. I think they're playing, yeah, very much. Look, they've only got one player in their attacking half, so we're absolutely dominating the game. It's nice to see some more highlights. We are on extended highlights. Let's see how we shape it. So obviously there, we kind of press in a bit of a 4-4-2 with Burns, Morsey, Luongo and Broadhead. It's not quite narrow. Leif Davis looks like he's going to jump on Potts here, but because of the shadow striker in Chaplin, often press in what looks like a 4-4-2. Very familiar. Arsenal, Man City, all do it. Right. Oh, Leif Davis is in. That's that aggressive mentality. He's got his second. And that, to be fair, is a Connor Chaplin goal. Getting inside the penalty area and sweeping the ball home. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely pounced on that. We said it looked like he was about to pounce when I froze it. And he did. Into the box. Lovely pass. Chaplin sweeps it home. 2-0. 37 minutes gone. We're only on 51% possession. They've done absolutely nothing. So they're in a really low block. But it just shows that we do turn over possession a little bit more than maybe what Southampton would or Leicester City would. It's not all about possession numbers. Right, Morsey, Clark. See, that's the inverted wing fullback on defence. So it's not as if they never get forward. When they get the opportunity to, they will. Look where Burns is, right inside the penalty area. Morsey hits. We're going to get a goal. We should have had a goal. All right, so we're into half-time, 2-0 up. Absolutely dominated. As you can see, though, as well, as I just said, the possession, 51% possession to their 49. Bearing in mind that if we look at their heat map, I said they've only got one player in our half. So we are turning the ball over a little bit. But that's fine because that's what they do. They're high risk, not bothered about possession numbers at all. It'd be interesting to see. Hopefully Ipswich do get promoted. It'd be brilliant to see them back in the Premier League, having something different in the Premier League. Right, Morsey. I think obviously signing a centre forward. I believe George Hurst has had a bad injury. And if I'm right, I think it's not the first bad injury that he's actually sustained in his career. So going forward, maybe getting that out-and-out number 9, getting a goal scorer in, something teams like Burnley didn't do this season. Ipswich, I imagine, even though they've scored loads of goals, you know, Connor Chaplin it'll be amazing to see what he does in the Premier League. But they definitely will probably go out and sign a striker if they get promoted. And we've done it again. Leif Davis. Hat-trick of assists, is that? I think it is, yeah. It's a hat-trick of assists. Nearly carbon copy of the second goal. If we run it back, because I was chatting away. So turnover in possession. And then we're just through the thirds. Through. Broadhead coming in. That's the inverted wing. Look how narrow he's coming in. That's because of the Leif Davis role. I think if it was just a wing-back on defend or a full-back on support, I think Broadhead's position would be a lot wider. Sweeps into Chaplin, into Hurst. Lovely, high tempo, quick passing. Davis then gets the better of the right back. And it's a low cross again. I don't know if that's because it's Connor Chaplin. Obviously, you don't want to be putting high balls into the box for him to head. And he sweeps it home. 3-0. 2 for Chaplin, 1 for Burns. 3 assists for Leif Davis. And he's currently on a 10. And there we go, guys. Full time, 3-0. Ipswich 3, Preston 0. 3 assists for that man, Leif Davis. Absolutely dominated as well. Said, by the looks of it as well, the possession numbers around 53%, so we're not dominating the ball. There you go. Match analysis, 3 assists, a 10, a perfect 10 for Leif Davis. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please smash a like on today's video. Check out the Patreon as well. It really does support the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. It is Leicester City. Is it Maresca? I think that's how we pronounce it.